In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call this Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media. Some of y'all still call the World Wide Web. You find me. I am known as the mighty. I am your soul brother number one and your friend Taalik. Of course, this video is live, and of course, it is spontaneous. And I would hope that for those who, I would hope that it is worthy of your time on this, in my area. It is sort of gloomy and rainy. I just wanted to briefly speak about a few random topics. This because I have the time, I am in a general good mood. So I want to just speak on these things just for a short, brief period of time, as I have other things I must attend to on this day. I want to say and invite you to a live Google Hangout in celebration of what I call Soul Liberation Day, of which we have designated that day, December the 9th, 2017, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So far, I have gotten word from my wonderful, beautiful, dark-skinned activist, the queen of dark-skinned activism, my sister Rashiba Strober will host the event, and I will have a special guest speaker, and that is my brother from Talk Real Solutions Radio, Tyrone Thompson. And of course, I will give the keynote address. Also, I will reveal of how I will distribute and share this dollars that I have burning my pocket that I wish to get rid of. I'm going to speak about that in just a second also. But Soul Liberation Day is just not my day. It is a celebration of us, of you as an individual. Holiday, to my knowledge, where we celebrate ourselves. What makes us unique? What makes us, whereas we are strong enough to go through certain things in life and overcome. And we should be proud of that inner strength that we find in ourselves, but it is never celebrated. And many times we give credit to our own being to something else. Many of you give credit to God. However, God gives us all this inner strength, but yet it takes that individual to actually bring out and act upon that inner strength. So why not, or why not should we get credit for those things of where we overcome, the things that we do? This is why many people give up on life, because they don't see value in themselves. They do not see where their life has any real, true meaning. So if I feel as though I have no value, how easy it is for me to take my life. How easy it is to allow others to exploit me because I'm nothing. And so we want to liberate ourselves from that sort of and kind of thinking. So I wish that you join myself and my sister Rashida and brother Tyrone Thompson and whomever may wish to join this platform so that we can take this mentality, this sense of euphoria that we get when we win against great odds. How can we translate that to a people in need of liberation, in need to find an inner strength in order to overcome a serious problem that we have faced now going on 500 years? You would want to end this once and for all. And I know that you've been around so many who claim to have an answer to the problem. But these answers, these solutions, many of them are outdated. They've been around for a long time. So if they are the true solution for your problem, then why is your problem going on and on and on? If your car is in disrepair and a mechanic claims that he knows what is wrong, then he fixes it. And once he repairs that car, you can get in your car and go on to do what you want to do. However, if the mechanic really doesn't know what he's talking about, then the car would just sit back in the garage on and for weeks and weeks and weeks because this mechanic really don't know what they're talking about. Mind you, they could be a legitimate mechanic, but in this situation, they don't know what's wrong with your car. There are many of people of whom we are following. They don't know what's wrong with this car. This is why the car never gets fixed. You should want and you should wish to have your car repaired. I'm not going to, and I hope not to keep you very long. I hope not to keep myself very long. I just want to bring up some random topics and again, remind you to join myself and my special guest on what I call Soul Liberation Day. Our day, not just my day, it's our day. The people of soul. You are the people of soul. You gave yourself that name. I did not create soul. This was in existence prior to my birth. The only thing I am doing, brothers and sisters, soul brothers and sisters, is building on an idea that came from our womb. That's part of your problem. You want to build and put yourself into somebody else's house that you never lived, that you don't belong, when you should be doing your own thing because you are smart enough, you are creative enough. But you have those who are keeping you in a position you're doing is exchanging one slave master for another. This rostrum, this ministry represents the end of slavery, no matter what form you may find it in. Interested in you being a slave. I am not interested in your being denied justice. I don't care who you are. If you are a dark-skinned person, a descendant of slaves, born in America, having dark skin, I don't have to like you. You don't have to agree with me. But we should never be in a position to deny anybody justice. And that's what many people don't understand about me. oh, you talk about so-and-so, and you said this about so-and-so. I will not deny you justice. And I will compromise and I will work with you for the benefit of the whole, the common good of all. You're not willing to do that because you're just like you're a slave master. You're looking for a slave. And so you will stay away from this platform, this rostrum. I don't represent slavery. I don't represent being a clone. I don't represent being mimicking other folks. I represent what you talk about, but you really don't believe of being original. If the black man is the original man on this planet, why aren't you doing anything original? You just copy and regurgitate information 5,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 50 years ago, the same old stuff. You don't know how to use your brain to create and bring into existence that which is new because you're not a God. The God in your scriptures talk about he made things new. He made new things. The only thing you want to do is run around pretending to be somebody you're not, regurgitating vomit from somebody who threw up 5,000 years ago. I don't represent that. If you want to be some ancient person you never was 5,000 years ago, this is not the place to be. Behold, I make things new. And what is new and what was new for us was this coming, this idea of us being the people of soul, our own tribe, our own nation, the soul nation. Coming from your ancestors. Some of your brothers and sisters, some of our ancestors are alive today, those who had something to do with this thing, this idea of soul. And you want to throw it in the trash because you think that what they have in Africa is better. What they have in the islands is better. Everybody got something better than you. I don't want what they have because I know what they have is not better than what I have. And it comes from my loins, comes from my mother, comes from my father right here with me. I don't have to go back 5,000 years, 2,000 years, 300 years. Our people gave us a gift. And even so, we have a people called Liberians who are us that y'all never talk about, like they don't exist. Let's build a nation. Our ancestors built a nation. Why don't you reach out to Liberia and want to help our people for real? These are ours. You never talk about them. Why? Because it means real work. Because this is already in existence. You want to control. You a slave, too stupid and too dumb. You can't unite. You can't do nothing. And you want to talk about people who have done what you claim that you want to do. They are Africans. You are an African wannabe. They have transformed to be what you claim you want to be, and that is this African person, whatever that is, because African is a general that was not even created by no dark-skinned person. It was created by racists to put us into these categories to do what? To divide and conquer. And it still continues to this day. And that's something I want to touch on within the next few minutes. Divide and conquer. That's what it's all about. I want to speak about 3 random topics very quickly. The first topic is really short, because I just want to know. I'm very curious. Like many of you may know, and many of you may not know, I have a slight crush on my sister, my soul sister, from Invo to Realist. We are the same age, you know, whatever. Study that sister. I like that sister. And been trying to reach out, communicate through social media. But many people my age, of course, as you know, we are not tech savvy. I am not tech savvy. You see me on YouTube and I do a little thing. I am not tech savvy. People talk about your videos is not in HD 1623 or whatever. I don't know what these terminologies is. I have no idea. Learning slowly but surely. Self-taught, trial and error, or whatever. So she is my age. We are over 50. I'm proud to be over 50. Many of you will not be able to reach 50 in good health. I still have all my teeth. All except my wisdom teeth. I had those pulled, but I have all my teeth. I have not had a heart attack. In general, pretty decent health, you know, over 50, over, you know, over the line, I would be considered, and Terry Ellis, we would be considered, I guess, middle-aged people. I would still whoop you on the basketball court, still fast enough. So don't get too uppity, y'all younger folks. But as you know, all things come to an end. So hey, enjoy it while it lasts. But what I was wondering, I'm trying to communicate, because if I am real about meeting this sister, then, you know, I can't communicate really through social media or whatever. I'm wondering, how do these stalkers do it? These stalkers are able to get the telephone numbers of celebrities. They are able to find where they live, the residence. How do these people do that kind of stuff? I was just wondering, you know, here you are, an average person, you know, you can't communicate. You can't, I don't even know if they accept letters anymore. Put a letter in the mail or whatever. I don't even know if that's possible. You know, everything's internet and all this crap. But your stalker don't care nothing. Your stalker don't care nothing about internet or whatever. They find a way to find your telephone number, where you live, and where you gonna be at, all this kind of stuff. These stalker folks is some amazing, amazing people. I was just wondering. I just want to put that out there because I was just curious. So I guess I'm gonna have to do it the hard way. You know, when they are in town or close to town, go to a concert and, you know, try to meet her that kind of way or whatever. And I might get lucky. Oh, okay, enough of that. I want to talk about why I want to give away, not give away, share. Why I want to share $1,000. Because it makes me feel good. I can do it. I can afford it. I want to do it. It makes me feel good. Like I said in earlier videos, I can take my little $1,000 and pay my bill. You know, so I don't have to share nothing. I can be like many of you. You know, selfish and just, you know, or give it to these parasites and these clowns. Give your money to somebody because they sound good. To these parasites and these leeches. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons of why I want to share $1,000, because of the parasites and these leeches on social media. Now, I am giving, I keep saying giving. I want to share with my listeners $1,000. However, this year, I've already given away probably close to $1,000. I've given away money to people that's locked up. I sent some children to the circus. And see, what's wonderful about that, the children sent me pictures. They enjoyed the Universal Soul Circus. The Universal Soul Circus. Got it? They sent me pictures. That makes me feel good. Because otherwise, the poor children, you know, their parents, you know, wasn't able, you know, couldn't afford to send their babies. and have a decent time at the circus. I feel good about that. I treated a soul sister who was a prostitute to a meal. I'm proud, I feel good about that, and gave her a couple of dollars to help her out. In my journey on the outside, I always keep $20 bills on me. I see people and they don't ask me for nothing, but I see that they have a need. Hey, you want this $20? You want this $20? Children that's raising money for their basketball team, football team, something they are doing in school. Here you go. I like that. It makes me feel good. In fact, I was going to donate $1,000 to Dr. Umar Johnson. Just getting ready to send the money, and then I saw a video, and Dr. Johnson was talking about these trifling ass niggas. This is all the money they gonna give me, or something to that point. I'm like, what? That made me look at him in a whole different manner. And of course, I ceased to put my $1,000 in the mail for this man to question what he's actually doing. Because see, I was acting on emotion because it sounds good like y'all do. But when I really began to investigate and study this whole thing that Umar Johnson was doing, it was too many questions. And I'm not going to help pay to put Umar Johnson in a jacuzzi. There are pictures of Umar Johnson in a jacuzzi, in a fancy hotel. That's not what my money is for. My money is for the building or the support of this school that does not exist. I'm not going to do that. So I had to change my mind on Dr. Umar Johnson. But whenever I see something worthy, I think worthy, and I don't look. See, this is another thing. I don't have to agree with you. I don't even have to like you. However, if I see something positive and I see something that I think is a benefit to the soul community, why not? But y'all so filled with hatred. Just because I talk about Minister Louis Farrakhan, the brothers and sisters won't sell me a bean pie. How corny is that? Hey, you talk about Farrakhan, I'm not going to sell you a bean pie. That's so silly and dumb. So because I said something, which I'm not saying nothing disrespectful, I'm just presenting my observation and presenting to the public my experience. And you don't want to you don't want to sell me a bean pie. There are brothers and sisters, a bar of soap. You don't agree with what I say. I'm not gonna sell you no soap. I'm not gonna sell you a bean pie. I'm not gonna sell you my Cadillac. How silly are we? You going to deny a sale because you don't like what if you ask all your customers how they felt about your belief, your ideology? That's not good business. Do you think that Microsoft care about your belief and what you do and how you think? They don't care. Are you going to buy my product? That's the only thing on their mind. You can talk about Bill Gates like a dog. They're going to collect your money. We are some very silly people. We're silly. Oh, man. And that's why you always going to stay on the bottom, because you think like a child. So you're always going to need some adult to follow. And plus, if you truly understood how the so-called Negro was created by the white man, then you would understand why you have this mentality. You want to follow and serve because that's what you was created. If you're not going to follow and serve the white man, you're going to follow and serve somebody. Umar Johnson, Sonetta, Polite, Nature Boy, you're going to find somebody to follow because you've been programmed in your very creation to be a slave. And that's another reason why you have a problem with me, because I don't represent that. I'm not guiding you or leading you or suggest to you or advise you that you follow and become a servant of anybody, whether it is a God, whether it's an alien, whether it's some person or anybody. I want you 1000% free. Slavery is over. Those of you who want to be slaves, your best bet is to go find you a slave master, because I'm not your slave master. You're not going to follow me nowhere. We are a team. This is a team effort. You're not going to put all this burden on me. It's not going to happen. If there is failure, we fail. You're not going to say, oh, that Negro AngelSnupnup7, he failed. No, it's going to be all of us. This is a team effort. We are a team. If you don't want to be part of a team, you want to follow somebody, well, this is not the place. This is not the place to be. This is a team effort. T-E-A-M. Rah, rah, rah. Team. I'm not interested in following nobody. Now, see, look at this. It is best that we support one another. We have a problem with diversity in the soul community. We want everybody to be the same. That's never going to happen. Even, for example, in the Nation of Islam, everybody is not the same. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us about bean pies. Some of us can't eat beans. Some of us don't like beans. So you mean to tell me you want to force people to eat beans, even though beans make them sick? See, we all are different. We all are different. Y'all want everybody to be the same. It's not going to happen. It's not natural. Even in your family, you are not the same. You can come from all of us can come from the same mother. You are not the same. I have siblings. We are not the same. I am the only one on YouTube. You don't see the rest of my siblings because I would acknowledge them. But they don't, they're not on social media because we're not the same. They're not interested. And that's your main problem. You can't accept diversity. Even among Europeans, they are not the same. However, they take that which is similar and they move forward with what they have in common. You don't see them acting and behaving like us, but at the same time, they never was created to be slaves. We are looking to follow somebody. We act like herd animals. We talk about the alpha male and the alpha female because we're looking for some dominant force, some dominant higher power being to follow. That's what we are about. We don't want to be true leaders because it scares us. We've never been that before. You don't expect a people who have only known slavery to be leaders. So I look odd. I'm not asking to be a leader. I am bringing to us advice and suggestion. I'm not asking you to accept me as a leader. However, if you said, Brother AngelSnupnup7, could you lead us? Would you lead us? If I accept that position, then now I have a responsibility to you. I don't have a responsibility to you. because I'm not your leader. I'm only a brother offering my advice and suggestion due to my personal experience and because I am able to think for myself. So since I am able to think for myself, because I have vision, because I have creativity, I can see what you cannot see because you still continue, and I don't care, you can holler black power and black conscience and Pan-Africanism. The only thing I see is a bunch of slaves. You can't accept the reality of the situation that you're in. Just like when I was incarcerated, I had no idea of what I was involved in. I had no idea of what I was ignorant. It wasn't until I actually understood what I was involved in, then my condition began to change. Your condition has not changed. In fact, it continues to get worse because you really don't understand what you are caught up in. The first thing that you and I need to do in this situation is to remove yourself from out of these concepts and ideology, this race garbage. That's the trap. But you thrive in the trap. You do studies and you do scholarship in the trap, and you will remain trapped. But I'm your brother. In fact, you should want me on your side because I have great tenacity and I would defend us to the bitter end. This is a proven fact. You should want me on your side. I should want you, we should want to be with one another. But you have a slave mentality. That's right. You still have a slave mentality. And you don't view me as your brother, you view me as a threat. Because maybe what I say, you can't sell DVDs. You can't sell these books. There is no need for books and DVDs. I'm trying to get free. If that book, if that DVD cannot liberate me from this jail, what sense is it for me to go crazy over a book? Makes no sense to me. In order for us to get up out of this situation, you must have, I don't care how many books you read, it must be the appropriate knowledge. You don't use a book designed for plumbers to fix your car. When you want to fix your car, you go to the store and you buy a book. Your car is a 1975 Cadillac, and that's what you get to fix your car. You don't go to the bookstore and get a book talking about plumbing. How are you going to fix your 1975 Cadillac with a book talking about how you put pipes together? It is the wrong information. So you can be scholarly, you can be educated, but if it's the wrong, if it's the wrong information, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's your problem. You're giving, your whole mentality is wrong. Your whole mentality, your whole mindset is wrong. That's why going on 500 years, nothing is changing. You can make YouTube videos. You can go on Facebook and put up old pictures of Malcolm and old pictures of Marcus Garvey. And, you can do that all day long. But your condition does not change. And the pathetic thing about it is some of you keep talking about the FBI, the agents, and the spies. You are so pitiful and pathetic. And you can believe this and take it to the bank. You are so pitiful and pathetic. I truly doubt the government is wasting their time and spies on you because you're not doing anything. You're not causing no kind of change. You're not causing no kind of uproar. You're not. So why would, if I was the United States government, why would I waste time or money messing with some people. They ain't got nothing. They don't have nothing going on. Now, when it looks like you have something going on, then that will change. However, at this time, you are confused. You are divided. You don't know what the hell you're doing. It just sounds good. My enemies, when I was locked up, did not give a damn about me talking about calling them a devil, the injustice. They didn't give a damn about that. However, when I got appropriate knowledge and began to do the appropriate thing, then I became a threat and they start coming against me. If these devils, if these demons, if these beasts aren't coming at you, you're not doing anything. And just the little stuff that I do, just talking. Here I am. You say I only have 10 subscribers. I only get 15 views per video. But Google, the corporation, terminates my channel. Every time I turn around, they don't want me to speak. Why is this? Why they don't want a person with 10 subscribers and 10 views? Why is it necessary to terminate their channel? You don't think about this because you are off in La La Land. Your stuff sounds so good. And if I only get 10 views, only 10 subscribers, why are you upset with anything that I say? It makes no sense. The whole thing makes no sense. You need to unify. You need to get appropriate knowledge. There is an old saying, there's no fool like an educated fool, because an educated fool believes they already know. You can't tell an educated fool nothing, because I already know. I believe in Jesus, I already know. I don't want to hear nothing else. I believe in Muhammad. You can't tell me nothing. See, this type of mindset, that's the worst mentality. You are forcing your brain to accept rigid thought when your brain was designed to constantly be flexible. And you're not flexible. Once y'all believe you know something, that's where you stay. Your mind is not flexible. And since your mind is not flexible, then you are going to remain in the condition that you're in. It's as simple as that. You don't see me getting all upset because you reject my advice and my suggestion. That's on you. If you reject my advice and suggestion, that's on you. You have to suffer the consequences of your action. Just like I have to suffer the consequences of my action since I reject what you're talking about. However, what you're talking about, 5,000, 1,500 years old, whatever, what is it doing? If I thought it would change the condition of the people, I would be on board, no problem. It's not doing anything. It just makes you feel good, like when you go to church. All that screaming and hollering. Oh, Lord, bless the Lord, oh Lord, and everybody running around. It just makes you feel good. But you still have to go to work Monday morning. You still have to pay for your baby's shoes. The rent is due. It does nothing to change your reality at all, period. So why do you think, or why should you believe that I'm supposed to be impressed by that? Are you serious with me? It is best that we be on the same side. It is best that we unify on that which we have in common, like sane people. I don't want you to be like me. We are all walking different roles in life. However, I am an oppressed person. You are an oppressed person. We should seek unity just based on that. Now, if you don't want nothing to do with me after we gain our freedom and liberation, okay, that's fine. But you should have enough sense to team up and unify with another oppressed person. That is insanity. There are those who, because they believe what the white man say about me, what the pink man say about me, this Caucasian liar, oh, he's insane. I can see why the white man call you crazy. Now, at the same time, you call this cracker a liar and a deceiver. But when it comes to me, because I reject that stuff that you're talking about, and I don't just reject it, I offer valid, credible questions and inquiry that you can't answer. You want to try to force crap on me. I'm not going to. No, I'm not your damn slave. You're not going to force that on me. I don't care how you, I don't care what type of temper tantrum you have. And that's how many of you act. And you flopping around and kicking your feet. And you don't believe you're African. Hey, you flopping around, kicking your, I don't care. You can hoop and holler and do all that you want to. I could care less about your childish antics. I want my questions answered. I want valid inquiry. I want to see clear and convincing, overwhelming evidence in order for me to jump on board with what you're talking about. But right now, the only thing I see is a bunch of holes, a bunch of questions, a lot of things that just don't make no sense to me. And if it don't make any sense, chances are it's not true. And I don't stand and position my foundation based on belief and outright lies. Not gonna do it. You want a liar? You need to go somewhere else. You want somebody to believe in? Then you need to go somewhere else. I want to stick with what is real, what is factual, what survives the criteria of logic, common sense, and reason. If it can't pass that criteria, there's a problem. I don't care how good it sounds. I'm not interested in feeling good. I'm interested in what is true. Whether truth makes me feel good or it don't. That's what I'm interested in. I'm also interested in justice. I don't have to like you to give you justice. I'm not going to be like the racists. I'm not going to be like those I complain about. I'm going to give you justice. I don't care if I don't like you. I'm not going to allow somebody to lie on you. See, that's me. I don't know about you. Just because I disagree with you, I'm not going to let people come around me and tell lies on you. I'm not going to do that. Some people think that's the way it's supposed to go. It don't go that way here. I give all people justice, even the cracker, even this devil Caucasian beast. I'm not going to let you lie on him. Yes, he's a liar, manipulator, deceiver, but don't bring extra stuff and tell an outright lie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give justice to all. And if you don't want me to give justice to all, then this rostrum, this platform, you need to take a hike, get the hell out. How are you going to be a better human being if you just like your slave master? How are you going to be a better human being acting just like those you complain about? I see and I understand why you stay in the condition that you're in. You're not ready to progress. You're not ready to move forward. You are an incomplete, wacky human being, just a dark-skinned form of your slave master. And I don't care, again, I don't care black power, African consciousness, all that stuff that you can holler that stuff all day, all that you want to, means nothing. All I see is a slave. Your actions show. Your mentality show. You still remain a slave. You just don't like the pink massa no more, but you got to find your massa to serve. I'm not interested in finding a masa. So in conclusion, again, like I said, I'm not going to keep us very long. This is spontaneous. My last topic I touched on already about this forcing stuff on people. There are those, of course, in the religious circles. They get very angry when you reject Jesus. They get very angry when you question and reject Muhammad, Allah, Yahshua, all these names they have for these gods and prophets and things. They get very angry. I can respect your belief. At the same time, you need to respect those who say, I'm not interested in that stuff. Because I'm going to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to be nice talking to you. But they want to try to force. You need to believe in Jesus. They want to try to force. You need to believe in Allah and the hereafter. And the new religion, which is really old, you better believe that you're African. I come from the same place y'all come from. I was a Christian. Christianity was forced on me as a baby. I didn't have no choice. So I was a Christian, Baptist, or whatever it was. Pentecostal, I forgot exactly the technical term. It's still a Christian when it's all said and done. In the backwoods of Mississippi. Then I was converted to Islam, the teachings under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I was a Muslim. And I also was taught that my ancestors was Africans. And I am an African. All these things that y'all believe in and you continue to teach, I come from the same place. The only difference between you and me is that I have never allowed my brain to be rigid in thought. My mother even told me that. She said, my mother told me when I was little, you sure ask a lot of questions. People trying to hide things don't like folks asking questions, especially when they have committed a crime. And it's a crime to lie to people. Whether it is intentional or it's not. Liars and deceivers have a problem with questions. So they want to try to force you to believe whatever they're offering so they can avoid the questions. And many of us in our hearts, when we are faced with this inquiry, we really know in our hearts that something is wrong, but we spend so much time and we don't want to feel like a fool. So I'm just going to believe this anyway. I saw a video earlier this year, and it was a Christian pastor talking to some Nation of Islam believers. And the Christian pastor proved without a doubt that what they were believing in was wrong. And do you know what those brothers said? I'm going to believe anyway. So it makes no difference what logic that I bring, or facts, or reason, or the use of common sense. It makes no difference what I present. It makes no difference about that. Those who wish to believe in a lie, those who wish to believe in what is false, they're going to do it anyway because they are not interested in truth, period. I am a truth seeker. So I am able to have my mind flexible because I am looking for truth. The majority, so many of you, I could say the majority, you're not interested in the truth. You just want some feel-good stuff that you can foam at the mouth about. Praise Jesus. Praise Muhammad. Ooh, Africa, the glorious, the mother of civilization. What does that have to do with you? What does Africa being the mother of civilization has to do with you? Nothing. You was created in the bowels of North America as a slave. You don't know nothing about the mother of civilization, Africa, period. What does that mean? That's supposed to make it's supposed to sound good. Means nothing to me. What's the benefit? Africa is the mother of civilization. So technically, all people, all human beings are Africans, technically. But see, Africa is a continent. And this is a question they just don't never want to deal with. Africa is a continent. It's a landmass. It's rocks. It's sand. It's plants. It does not have DNA. What people are you talking about? There are various people on that continent. You want to call me a West African. Most slaves came from West Africa. Who are you talking about? You got your DNA. DNA can only tell you about a species. It cannot tell you about a tribe. It cannot tell you about a nation. Tribes and nations change all the time. DNA does not change like that. So what are you talking about? African is a general relative term created by races to cause division so they would be able to conquer their victims. And that's what has happened. And it continues to happen right now. Y'all argue over who and what you are. And you give this cracker, these Peckerwoods, all this money for fake DNA hoax garbage that don't mean nothing. You can't prove them wrong. They know you can't prove them wrong because you don't know nothing about DNA. In order to show that I'm an African, you have to show African DNA. Let me see the sequence. Now you take my DNA and I want to see how my DNA match up with this African DNA that don't exist. They won't show you African DNA. They won't show you the actual sequence of that DNA because it don't exist. There's no such thing as you cannot get DNA in tribes. Only in species and varieties of animals and people. So what people are you claiming? And when it comes to the so-called Negro, because we have been integrated with so many different varieties of dark-skinned people, plus the Caucasian racist himself has raped us, we can look almost like anybody. So it makes no difference. If I look like somebody from West Africa, I'm still not them. Just like a nectarine looks like a peach, but a nectarine is not a peach. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, a nectarine is a nectarine. The so-called Negro in America is who and what we are. The people of soul. We are not those people no more. Regardless, even if you are Native American, the word Negro was once used to describe the Native American. Negro is supposed to mean black. Who else was called Negro? So when did we become African? In the story of Roots, Kunta Kinte never referred to himself as an African. He don't know nothing about what that is. He was Mandinka. The slave master never told the slave, here is your African brother. Never told the slave that they was African. Because see, they know. You confused, you all messed up because of the scholars. You can take scholarship and you can take history and make it say whatever you want it to say. There are people who believe in Jesus, and they have scholars, and those scholars make history and information sound the way they want it to sound to support their belief. And that's all that you've done. So I don't care about what the scholars say and the so-called intellects. Adolf Hitler had scientists, and Adolf Hitler had scholars, historians, to support the fact that the Caucasian people were the superior race. So I guess since y'all believe in scholarship, those scholars and intellects, they was correct, right? Oh no, Adolf Hitler was wrong. So how come you can't be wrong? What makes you so correct? There's problems here in the story. There's something that's not right. I'm not interested in what makes me feel good. I'm interested in getting at the truth. I also use simple, very simple experiments. The average boat ship ride was 4 to 6 months. And these people were laying in their own feces. Now you go to the bathroom and you don't flush your toilet, and you just stay in the bathroom, don't go nowhere. Other people can come, y'all use the toilet. How long you think that you and those people are gonna stay in that bathroom smelling urine and feces? But you mean to tell me that these people captured from the African continent, they can't move, they chained down, they laying in their own filth and urine. You're gonna tell me that they laid around in that stuff 4 to 6 months? You have to keep a boat clean. It's so many, it's just so many questions to this thing. And they was laying in chains. They can't move. And you're on this boat that's rocking. So you have these shackles on your feet, on your hands, around your body. That's this steel is constantly rubbing against your skin. And this boat is rocking 4 to 6 months. And then on top of that, you are losing over 50% of your cargo. The majority, half of your cargo is going to die. They're not going to be able to make the trip. You are telling us that 100 million Africans died in the Middle Passage. That the average ship can only hold 40 to 70 slaves, maximum 100 at a time. You said that 100 million died in the Middle Passage. It takes 4 to 6 months to go from America to Africa and bring those Africans. Look, I confess, my math is really, really poor. But I'm just thinking about this, and the math is not adding up. And you want to also insult my intelligence, because I have to be an African. I have to be connected to somebody that already exists, that have established some type of culture. You want to insult my intelligence, and you have the nerve to tell me that I am incapable. We as a people are incapable of the creation of our own culture, our own way of life, our own way of doing things. We cannot take advantage of our own unique self. We have to pretend to be somebody that we've never been. Well, you can pretend to be those people. You can go and pretend to be ancient Kemet, Hebrew Israelite. Go and pretend to be whoever you want to be. I am smart enough. I am intelligent enough to create my own destiny. And we was doing it naturally when we began to come up and bring forth what we call soul. When you talk about the people of soul, they don't look at Africa. They don't look at China. They don't look at India. There's only one person who's a soul person on the planet. That's us, the so-called Negro in America. That's us. It's ours. You want to talk about ghetto names? We use what we got. And it's natural to want to be who you are. Do your own thing when you begin to grow up. You can use things from your mother and father, but you are not your mother and father. We are not our ancestors. We are not them. We are who we become, and you should find pride, and you should be able to look at your potential, because every child that comes from any mother, that child has the potential to be greater than mother and father. We have the potential to be greater than Kemet. We have the potential to be greater than any ancient Hebrew Israelite person or more, or anybody. You have the potential. First of all, many of them don't exist no more, and you are still alive. So as long as you are alive, you have the potential to be greater than those who no longer exist. Progress to their level and surpass them. But a slave don't think like that. A slave is limited in their thinking because a slave is waiting on their massa to guide them somewhere. Whether that massa is some kind of god, an alien, or another person or whatever, you waiting on your massa. I ain't waiting on massa. I'm not interested in having a massa. I'm not interested. But for those who are, need to roll out from here. I don't make slaves here. We're not a slave making ministry here. I love you for who you are, wherever you find yourself. I love the brothers and sisters of soul. I don't care where you are in life. I don't care whether you're gay. I don't care whether you heterosexual. I don't care if you're a Kemetic or a Christian or whatever you are. You have soul. And to my knowledge, none of us really have no problem with being of soul. We have a problem being called African. I'm not a Native American. But see, under one umbrella that you develop, all the things that we have in common, all the things that we can agree upon, we can put it under the umbrella of soul. And so you can be Kemetic. Hey, but I got soul. You can be an African, whatever African you want to be, but you got soul. You can be a Christian, but hey, brother, got soul. Hey, soul, brother and sister, you got soul. And when you embrace soul, the concept of soul, you begin to take yourself up out of the racial trap, because soul is not connected to black. It's not connected to no continent. It takes you out of the trap that kept you in the condition that you're in. You begin to come up out of racism. They can't call you a racist when you are a person of soul. How can you be a racist when soul does not represent racial superiority? However, at the same time, in a way, you sort of do. But you can't, but they can't put that on you, because soul is not part of that, of the racist game. And that's what it's about. Doing things different, with a different mindset, coming up with different strategies and your thinking process. As long as you do what you're doing, the enemy already knows, so they simply respond. But when you begin to act outside of what they are used to you doing, you begin to level out the playing field. And you can begin, instead of always being on the defensive, always being reactionary, you can go on the offensive. make them worry about what you gonna do instead of you sitting back, oh, the white man gonna do this and the white man, what the hell are you gonna do? So they can worry. I wonder what the Negroes gonna do now. Wonder how they thinking now, what they doing. Now you making progress. But right now, you're not gonna make no progress. Because everything you do, we already know how you think. We know what you're gonna do tomorrow. You're a slave. You and I are slaves. And until we begin to develop, truly develop, and leave this slave mentality, your condition is not going to change. And I'm not going to allow, I love you, I respect you, I'm not going to allow you to force Jesus or Muhammad or this African stuff on me, period. There are too many questions. If I thought it was valid, I'll be on board. There's too many questions here. And since I will embrace it, then I must be able to defend it. And I can't defend this stuff. There's too many holes, there's too many questions. Well, with that said, I've taken up enough of your time. And I really enjoyed myself. And hopefully we will see one another again within the next less than 30 days. Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please feel free to join me and share the information. Bring others. Let them. I want to talk about my experience living, being an incarcerated person. I want to talk about the liberation of our minds. I want to talk about giving us our soul back. So I cannot be the Antichrist. Somebody wrote, you are the Antichrist. How can I be the Antichrist when I represent soul and bringing the soul back to that which is dead? I am raising the dead to life. So how can I be an Antichrist? But my job is even worse than the Jesus of your scripture, because I have two forces I have to deal with. Of course, I have to deal with us being slaves under European domination. And the second death, these black conscious, pro-Africanism, pan-Africanism, all this stuff that we're talking about. The second death. Because death represents inactivity. And under the Europeans, you are inactive. And you are also inactive under black conscious, these power teaching this African stuff. You are inactive. I don't have to debate and go back and forth with you. It's quite obvious for anybody to see. So you need to be raised from the dead. We need to be raised from the dead. So my job is almost like a salmon trying to go upstream to spawn, going against the river. So if you say I only have 10 subscribers, that's the reason why. Because my fight is much more difficult than yours. I have 10 views because nobody really wants to hear the truth. However, when that salmon goes up that stream and makes it to the breeding, to its breeding place, it is now able to bring life back to itself. Right now, you are lifeless because you don't want to accept your reality. And that's what you and I need to do. It's not that difficult. It's not that hard. You can't accept the reality of your situation. You want things to make you feel good. The same way as a child. Children want things that make them feel good, sound good. They want to play. And that's the type of mentality that we have. When is the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, those of whom I call the people of soul, when are we going to grow up? Physically you are, but mentally you are way out. You are far from being an adult person. And our sister, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, talked about this many times. We have a childlike mentality. You don't really take nothing serious. You make your YouTube videos, you cuss people out, and y'all act childish and keep posting the same pictures of Malcolm and Marcus Garvey over and over again. Because that's all you've been taught. You don't have a parent to teach you nothing no better. You still finger painting, dealing with people who are exhibiting high technology, and you're finger painting. You're still eating graham crackers and milk. And you really think that the white man is worried about you. Ain't these Caucasians, ain't nobody worried about you. But in your mind, thinking like a child, you really think that somebody is worried about your scholarship. Nobody cares nothing about your truth. Your truth don't mean nothing. Means nothing at all. Except to you. With that said, I am the mighty one, angelsnupnup7. This was the Reality's Temple on Earth and the Ministry. Again, join me December the 9th, 2017 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we want to talk about the reason and why of what I call Soul Liberation Day. Until then, perhaps I will see you a little bit in between that time. But until then, I wish us all, as Don Cornelius from Soul Train always said in parting, he wished us love, peace, and soul.